one of the things that stood out to me the most growing up watching the show is the diversity and representation that you see on this show. And as you mentioned, like the five of you, like it just felt like so organic and you guys were genuinely friends and it played off like that on TV. Talk about the importance of the diversity and representation of this show because especially for kids watching that, those things really stick with you and it just greatly just makes you enjoy it even more.
Yeah, I mean that I can honestly say like that is probably one of the biggest things looking back at the show, and here we are in 1993 back then, having such a diverse cast,
Yeah.
and really I felt like a lot of kids got to be represented when maybe they weren't represented before.
Hmm.
So, I love that Walter Jones was, obviously African American. He was a black superhero, probably like one of the first black superheroes that
Oh,
kids
of
could look
course.
up
Yeah.
to. And so that's amazing. And then Twee, as she's Vietnamese, and she has an incredible story coming from Vietnam. She was a refugee and she came to the United States with her family, and just her life is amazing. And so
Hmm.
for Asian kids, just knowing that they had somebody that they could look up to, and to see a female superhero, her and Amy Jo, these women that could just hold their own against the men was amazing. And then, I'm a nerd, and so not my character, Billy, was the nerd. And so, a lot of kids that wore glasses or got picked on or felt left out, I obviously, as time has gone on, I've just heard so many stories about how Billy gave them confidence. And because Billy had friends, I went out and I made friends. Or because Billy wasn't great at martial arts, but he was taking lessons, it encouraged me to go take lessons in
Right.
martial arts. So, that is probably one of the greatest things about the show that I don't know that we necessarily could have predicted or really even thought about. Like even though I will say, when I grew up, I lived in places like Montana and
Right.
Iowa, where there isn't a lot of diversity, period, just
Right.
a lot of white people. So,
Hmm.
even for me, it never felt, I don't know, it just always felt organic. So
Right. No,
it's
yeah, for
like,
sure.
and I guess I get so frustrated sometimes in the world because it's just like I don't understand where the racism comes from sometimes, and
Hmm.
it's really a huge frustration of mine. So if anything, that show in the 90s was letting people know, like, hey, we can all get along, and we should embrace the indifferences of each other because it makes us better, more rich people on so many levels. So I really am grateful for that. With all the behind the scenes things that went on for all of us, that was like, I don't know, a saving grace about that show.